Hey gang, so as we go through the final video of Mega Man X4's Zero Run here, I kind of wanted to do things a little bit differently. Instead of, racing to talk about everything on screen that's happening, especially since we're going to be retreading old ground today, I really just wanted to spend today talking about the game itself and why I love it so much. Now, before we get right into that, I do want to say that there are 5 visible weaknesses you'll clearly see, but the 3 you won't in these refights coming up, Magma Dragoon and Slash Beast, they are weak to Raijengeki, and Web Spider, good luck trying to hit him with this until the second phase, and even then it's still hard, Shipuga. It's one of those things that's kind of annoying, and I wish we could do the same thing we can do with X, but sadly can't do it out of a mid-air dash. You'll see what I mean in X's video tomorrow. But for now, let's just get right into it. So Mega Man X4. Why is this game so great to me? Well, we were talking about it both in the comments recently, and I've pretty much hinted at it along the way. But it's the overall presentation of how this one comes together. And what I mean by that is gameplay, story, look, soundtrack. It all clicks together so darn well. Case in point, let's just talk about the gameplay first, because that's the most important thing about a platformer, easily. Not only do you get to run and gun with X, like you have in the previous trilogy on the SNES, but now you get to hack and slash with Zero. And unlike in X3, he doesn't have that heavy, slower feel to him. He is fast, his movements are fluid, he can cut through robots with that Z-Saber like a hot knife through butter, and man, it is fun to play as both characters in this game, because the game itself is designed for both characters. It helps when you do these individual storylines and have to design the levels for both and can't switch back. That's something that unfortunately the next 2 games in the series on the PS1 are not going to understand at all. That's those though. I don't really want to talk about the ones I'm on. I want to talk about this one. But yeah, just going through these levels themselves. These levels are filled with a lot more trouble than you're used to facing, especially if you come and play this one right after Mega Man X3. If you come off of that one and then come to this, it's like night and day between level design here. Enemies aren't just, bigger, slower, have attacks that can do a decent number of damage on you. In this game, what they do is they set the enemies up to be basically fodder, but at the same time, that fodder itself can still pick you off, chip you down in health as you go. And so what you have to do is platform around their attacks and take them down. Well, with X, I guess you can just stand back and blast away. But at the same time, you're still going to have situations where one character is favored over the other. In terms of gameplay, I would say X has the overall advantage just because of the whole long-range thing. With Zero, you're almost always going to have to get in close to an enemy to do any damage, and then get out of the way if they're still around, or keep hacking away and risk, taking damage. And that's another thing about this one when it comes to the whole platformer aspect. Because usually in these games, platforming's been used to get over pits or spikes, and there's still plenty of that in X4. But in this game, with how they set up all these enemies, they really want you to platform around the enemies more than anything else. We saw this multiple times. In Slash Beast stage, you had the train cars with the boxes you'd have to climb. Repliforce's soldiers shooting at you. You'd have to move around their shots, get in, and blast or hack them down. That's fun. And then you get levels like Cyber Peacock, where you're having the race. And you're just dashing, past everything, trying to do those quick wall jumps to get around the yellow spheres if you want to get the best rank. And all of that just works so darn well. And that's what I mean, though. X4 does the platforming not just to get around obstacles and hazards, but to actually get around enemies, too. It works very well, it's the fastest game in motion, and it doesn't overwhelm you like future titles in the series do. Again, not dissing those for that, it's just, here it feels like it's set up for the player to have fun. It's a playground, and it's just an amazing time. And really, that's the main thing. That's how a game should be, just fun to play and control and do all this crazy stuff. Because let's face it, storyline-wise, at this point in the series, it's been established that X and Zero can be one robot taking on an entire army. And what does X4 do? It puts you up against an entire army. And you get to just plow your way through them with the Buster or the Z-Saber, and it's just a fast-paced, fun experience. That alone is just enough to land it up way high on the list of my favorite Mega Man games. Then it goes even further. And where it goes further is with the plot. Now, if you think about the actual main storyline of this game, it is ridiculous if you even give it, like, 10 seconds of thought, and we're going to be doing a few more than that as we're talking here. But again, it's silly, but it works. At least it did to Teen Bean back in the day. The reason for that is, and we were talking about this in the comments the other day, the characters in this one are given more agency than they ever have in any other Mega Man X game to date. In X1 through X3, all the bots are there just to be beaten. And while that's still the case here in X4, because every character that's not X or Zero gets blown to bits at some point, they still get time to talk, and they have their own motivations here. And that's something that we didn't get to see in any other Mega Man X game, outside of the major bosses. And again, those ones were just a quick line or two, and then you fight. Here, you're given a little bit of story, but not so much that it goes overboard, and it really does the game world justice. Now, obviously, the big major players in this one, Colonel and Iris, they get the most screen time of any of the villains that you have to eventually take down, mainly because they're not villains, at least not at first. Zero and Colonel, it's established that they're friends. Yeah, we never saw that in any other game, and it would have been nice to have maybe one adventure where they were just around to help for something, but, you know, it is what it is. And Iris herself, she's not just stuck as being Zero's crush/girlfriend or Colonel's sister. She actually has some agency of her own. She's helping you there, she's trying to stop the war. It's just not working out in her favor, but she has some actual characterization to her. That's probably why she's one of the more popular ones, at least until I guess the Mega Man Zero series starts up and then more characterization goes on there. I don't know. I was never a huge Zero fan compared to some of you out there, but then again, I'm more of a Mega Man X fan than I am Zero. Go figure. I like blue more than red. But it's not just major players like Colonel and Iris that get that screen time. You also get a little bit of flavor text from the actual Mavericks, the main bosses of the game. And we've never had that before. Usually they're always reprogrammed, you know, under a virus, whatever, brain-zapped bots, blah blah blah. X4, other than Cyber Peacock, every one of them go Maverick of their own free will. As a result, you also get those dialogues right before the boss fights and that first time you face them. Now, some of them are kind of weak, like Storm Owl really gets shortchanged here, because he's actually more of an honorable soldier, but both times he comes off like a complete tool, and it's a shame. But ones like Magma Dragoon, who's obviously the most popular Maverick in this game, especially with the stage vote, I knew he was winning about 5 minutes in. He gets to have his moment where he's, you know, depending on which character you're playing as, either feels sorrow for dropping Sky Lagoon because he wants to fight Zero, or in X's case, he totally goads him into it because you know that's the only way X is going to go at full strength against him. I like that little stuff. It's just those little touches that make this game so good. And then when we're talking about the little touches, the backgrounds being more detailed, and the foregrounds themselves too. Again, that's the huge jump from the SNES to the PS1. They got to put in some vibrant colors, and it looks pretty darn good in action, at least if you ask me. And then to complement that, you've also got yourselves the soundtrack. Oh man, this came up in the comments a few times, but there were songs in this game that just fit so darn well. You get, if you listen to Slash Beat's song, it kind of has this little delay in it, like it's a rickety rail, and it works so great. You get Frost Walrus's stage where you had the first half with this blowing wind, the freezing cold feeling in the background there. And then you go to the second part and it has this echoey deal like you're in an ice cavern, and guess what? You are. Magma Dragoon again. You get this bass boost rumbling like a rumbling volcano. And yeah, it has that fiery feeling. I wish I was better at describing this sort of stuff. Hoping you know what I mean here, though. When you hear this music, you go, yeah, this really rocks. Again, coming off of X3, where the songs were just kind of plain and on the weak side, if you ask me. And some of them were good, but did they really fit the stage you were in? Not always. And in some cases, the levels themselves didn't even fit the Maverick that was placed there. Here, you know, Firebot in the fire, you betcha. And all throughout that, it just clicks like that. Even tracks in the game I'm not too fond of, like Split Mushrooms, it still feels good because it's got that haunted, you know, like echoey, spooky feeling to it. Again, I wish I was better at describing this stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's the gameplay, it's the look, it's the sound, it's everything, except maybe the main plot itself, because General, seriously, dude, you say you're not gonna rebel against humanity, and then you go and do just that. I mean, come on, give me a break. Well, you know what, don't worry about it. You'll get your, retribution at the end of this one. But yeah, 14-year-old Bean, when he went through this game, he loved it. And after going through it again, and again, and again, and again, and 2/3 of again, I can safely say that 41-year-old Bean still does too. But either way, we've now gotten through the refights, so that means we can head to the core and find out who this mystery Maverick is that's behind all this. I wonder who that could be. Well, let's find out. No joke, gang, but I honestly thought it was going to be Violin here from Mega Man X2 coming back. I guess Sigma does make more sense, though. Yeah.
What's our current situation?
Commander!
Where's that red Maverick that wiped out Garma's unit?
Inside. He's inside that door.
You may leave now. I'll take care of this personally.
By yourself, Commander?
I don't want any more of my people being sacrificed.
Huh? Look, it's Commander Sigma. Incredible. Now I'm certain there's no one who's a match for the Commander. What?
Take that red Maverick to the repair center and call Dr. Kane. I wish to have that Maverick studied.
Commander, are you okay?
Silence!
Now in the Japanese version, because I played through that one here to get to the ending credits, it does not have that question mark when Sigma says you were a Maverick. So in our version, it makes it seem like he just watched that on the screen with us. Kind of silly. But yeah, Zero was a Maverick back in the day. Go figure. Sigma stopped him, but wound up becoming a Maverick in the process from that fight. Well, you know what that means. We've got ourselves a final showdown coming. So, time for me to be quiet so we can hear his line.
Prepare to become space dust!
I think we'll prepare just fine because we got ourselves Ryunjin to burn you to the ground like, so it's gonna hurt him a lot. He'll teleport in and out the first 2 times right above us, but the 3rd time, well every 3rd time, he's gonna appear at the wall and do that little rush across the screen with his scythe. I say to get up the wall and go over him. It's a lot easier than trying to dodge underneath him and above his scythe swing. It gets a little annoying. Of course, you can also just go right up against the wall like so if you're quick enough. After 8 of these rising flame strikes, you are going to take the first form down, but don't think this one's over yet. Oh no, it's just getting started. Teya, indeed. I sure hope so. Now, I believe Sigma's second weakness is actually Rakuhoha, but I find that Raijin does the job pretty darn well, and so does Kuenzan for that matter. Now, with that scythe, the first time he's going to swing it around the room, you just go behind him. But for the second toss, it can either land against the wall or the floor. You really, really want that scythe to stick to the wall, because it is so much easier to get up and over him to get some hits in while he just goes into eye laser mode. If he throws it on the ground, he is going to send out 4 boomerangs that will home in on you once, all the while his scythe is throwing stuff at the ground like so. Yeah, it's so easy to get hit during that attack. Why did we do that? Well, there's a reason for that, and we'll find out, because guess what? This final boss fight isn't over yet. See? Health capsule. Told you. Wait a minute, why am I being stopped? Ugh!
Prepare to become space dust!
Oh, you're gonna pay for that line about Iris, pal. Well, gang, here we are. The final form of Sigma. Well, I say form, but it's really forms. And that one on the ground there, First Sigma, he is easily the most annoying thing in this fight for Zero. We're trying to be cute here, hit him with Yoretsu-zan and then double jump out of it to avoid taking damage, but no, that's not going to happen. We're not that skilled with him. Not yet. We're better at these games nowadays, but it's not that easy. What is easy, though, is Gunner Sigma. His attacks are pretty easy to evade. Case in point, I was supposed to get up on the left head while he did that sweeping laser attack. Nah, didn't matter. Double jump right over it and you're fine. This debris attack, it doesn't matter if you're playing as X or Zero. The fact is, some of those rocks can come in from the floor and hit you if you're not jumping off the ground. Very aggravating to deal with. Thankfully, though, we're about to get a huge reprieve. Watch Gunner Sigma's health bar here as he goes for these 5 laser blasts. And also note that you can stand close enough to him that, and the gun itself doesn't do damage to us, that we can just stay here and go to town on him. Really nice. I love it. And sure enough, that half of the fight is already almost over in just a couple of passes. With this red face here, and all 3 of these faces have 1 attack each, what you want to do is stay on the ground for the first fireball wave, climb up for the second, drop down for the third, and then get yourself dashing under the 4th. The yellowhead, however, is the most annoying of those 3 because he will try to hit you with electric orbs that split on the ground. By the way, bye Gunner Sigma, nice knowing you. Now for the hard part, trying to take down you. Looks like we're both at half health now. Sounds like an even match. Of course, it's nice that you're doing that wind breath attack because that's how we're going to get a ton of hits in on you right here. Please keep doing that. Honestly, the one thing I'm trying to do while fighting Earth Sigma here is be in the middle of the room, not just for his attacks, but just when that yellow head shows up, because you don't want that thing firing its electric orbs out at you. And if you aren't starting Ryujin up right as it appears, it's going to send one out, and you're probably going to get hit by it. And we are in a little bit of trouble right now, but thankfully Earth Sigma is cooperating and giving us a chance to attack. Either way, it's looking like it's going to be a photo finish. Who's going to come out on top? Well, considering that I'd probably scrap the recording if we lost a life here, what do you think? Now let's finish this off. Move on in, and I win. Yep. Oh, that was a tough one. I don't think they get any closer than that. Yeah, goodbye to you too, pal. Hopefully this time it's good riddance. But, we've got ourselves a problem here. That weapon's about to go off, and I don't know if we have the energy left to stop it. We better get on through that door, and hopefully find a way to do so, or otherwise Earth's in major danger. Oh, what are we gonna do? Great, you again too? I understand. You have no choice. Anyway, gang, enjoy the ending.
So, this is what happened to me. This is my fate. I couldn't save anyone after all. Iris!
Please stop, brother! Zero.
Iris, did we Reploids all turn out to be Mavericks after all?
Hope you all enjoyed the Mega Man X4 Zero run. Till next time, I'm Bean, and I'm out. Thanks, gang. Later.